Look, for me, really actually interesting news. 2K and the NFL have actually signed an agreement, and what they're actually going to do is start making non-sim NFL games. So they're allowed to use the player names, likeness, the actual player teams. And there's a game that's coming out in 2021, but the catch is they can't make simulation style games. So games that would compete with Madden. But this is actually really good news because Madden has kind of had its space. I think it's for like at least 10 years, maybe even 15 years. There hasn't been a competitor in that space to Madden. And, back in the day with, the Madden games that we played in the more arcade style NFL games, like that's something that I could see myself playing. Whereas the real simulation ones, I don't know, to be perfectly honest, I feel like they're a little bit boring. Um,
I know a lot of people love NFL Blitz games, so hopefully
mm,
that I'm definitely not an NFL fan, but I loved Madden. I think it was Madden '94 on SNES or '93, one of the
yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah.
Like I play that game heaps, and then when I realized half the time I can just like put the controller down and it'll do it for me, it kind of lost a bit of its fun. But it was it. I think like it's good to have alternative options, even if it means that it's a different experience. It's kind of like I guess also with NHL games, there was like 3-on-3 arcade hockey game on 360, which is really fun. Very different, obviously, than like NFL, sorry, in a proper NHL sim games. But it gives people options.
Yeah, and I actually think that the arcade style, like Mario Strikers style game, I think that's really underserved at the moment. And I feel like, if people actually serve that market well, it would be pretty big. And I think using like real teams, real players is one of the key things that you need to do. I certainly don't think you should do it the way that 2K has done it historically with things like NBA playgrounds. And I'm assuming that that's what they're going to do with this. They're going to try to make this some kind of loot box, perk thing where you have to buy players. And, if you want, Joe Montana, you have to pay heaps of money, or Bo Jackson or something like that, which is going to be so annoying if they do that. But the one thing I wanted to call out, if you do want to play those older games, what you can do is there are actual ROM hacks where they patch in all the current day players and teams and team names and colors into the old games, like Super Tech Mobile or like NFL Madden 94. So you can actually play like the current team roster, but in the old game from the SNES or the NES, which I just think is super cool.
So if you play as Colin Kaepernick, can you take the knee in the old games?
Like I'm a 49ers fan, and I remember actually watching it live when he did that the first time. And I was like watching it just going, man, this is going to be massive. And it actually took so many years to all bubble up. And it is amazing now when you see that. And, when the basketball season just resumed the other day, you actually had the officials and the referees taking a knee. So yes, I don't think they've patched that quite in yet,
except
but
except that one dude. I saw that one dude. That one,
oh really? I
the
didn't know
one
about that.
NBA player that's just standing and he's not wearing the Black Lives Matter. I'm like,
Oh
man,
really?
yeah, like
Okay, I'm gonna go back
you're
and watch
kind
that.
of digging yourself in a grave there. Anyway, look that one up.
Look, like, and this is going off a way tangent. I'm a huge believer in doing what you think is right. So if you don't feel like you want to do that, that's your prerogative. And I don't think that means you are the opposite of what that kind of person is either. So
Read the room, dude. Read the room.
no, I get what you're saying, but I don't think you should then cast him as someone who hates, African Americans or something like that. That's
He is
crazy as well.
African
So
American.
oh, okay, interesting. I got to go back and watch and see what player it is because I love the NBA. I just didn't catch who someone did that. So,
Okay.
in further business news,